Good evening, Brother James, Mr. O'Toole, members of the faculty and board, parents, friends, family, and the class of 2018. I would like to thank everyone who has allowed me this opportunity to speak. I am honored and truly humbled to be given the chance to represent my classmates today. When I first sat down to write this speech, I stared at the blank Word document on my computer for about a half hour, searching for inspiration in that stark white display. When I figured out that this wasn't going to work, I turned to one of my closest friends for help. A friend who had stuck by my side so consistently throughout the past 4 years of high school. Someone whom I have no qualms about calling my brother. His name is Google. I looked up how to write a baccalaureate speech, and one of the top results was a page with all the popular cliches and what not to say. It's not the end, it's the beginning. This is the first day of the rest of our lives, and the classic, these were the times of our lives. Cliches would not be cliches if there was not some truth to them. So, if you will indulge me in one cliche, high school, like many other things in life, is a marathon, never a sprint. It is full of ups and downs, twists and turns, heartbreaking experiences, and heartwarming ones. Like every other marathon, there's a starting line. August 26th, 2014 was ours. This was our orientation, and the class of 2018 took off running from day one. We immediately started to make an impact in the school community, earning spots on sports teams, taking advanced classes with upperclassmen, and beginning to form our class identity. It was at this time that we started a similar marathon, our marathon of faith. Many of us, myself included, wished away the hard times freshman year, not realizing that they would form the foundation of who we are today. We made the fatal mistake of trying to speed past the tougher sections of our journey, and unfortunately, it worked, because here we are today at the finish line, far too soon. Freshman year came to a close, and with it, the arrival of mile 6. Sophomore year began, and at this point, we were no longer freshmen, and we were now the big tough guys who ran the school and took on the role of looking down at the new little freshmen that we were just a short 3 months back. Sophomore year brought with it bigger roles on sports teams, more responsibility, our first AP classes, and the first glimpses of respect from our teachers and the upperclassmen. We began to learn more about our faith and how it applied in real-world situations, and started to delve into the core of the Lasallian education model, which is Lasallian spirituality. We handled our expanded role with some grace, but one example comes to mind that represents the entirety of sophomore year. A single bag of Skittles that had already been paid for hung stubbornly behind the silver coils of the vending machine. A classmate of mine, John Tyrrell, shook the machine, and when the Skittles refused to come loose, he decided to go full Brian Dawkins and put his shoulder through the glass in order to obtain his precious sweets. This was sophomore year, and perhaps we did not handle it as gracefully as we thought. Some things tested us as young adults, but through it all, we had survived. The end of sophomore year was the halfway point, mile 13. We had survived this long, and this is when the bonds of brotherhood that we so cherish truly began to form, because we realized that we had made it this far partly because of the people around us. So, after sophomore year, whether it was life or another vending machine, we felt ready for what came next. Alas, mile 18, the start of junior year. By this point, we had solidified our position in the marathon that is high school, and began to really feel the power of our faith in our lives. On top of the increased responsibility of becoming an upperclassman, we handled the daunting tasks of SATs, prep for college, and likely the most rigorous academic year of high school. We now found ourselves at the 22nd mile, the first quarter of senior year. It is here when we hit what is known as the wall. In marathon running, the wall is when your body either collapses from exhaustion or finds that extra burst to help you finish. To my fellow members of the class of 2018, I congratulate you. You have all found that burst. Senior year undoubtedly flew by, but we formed some of our most powerful memories and had our strongest faith experiences. We really began to understand what it means to live life as a believer. Before high school, the sprint, you are given the standard guidelines of Christianity, taught about the Bible, and presented with a basic roadmap of what a devout Christian life should look like. Thankfully, we were given the tools during our 4 years at LaSalle to realize that it is not that easy, and spirituality is not that simple. Spirituality transcends religion, transcends faith, it even transcends humanity. These past 4 years of high school have taught us to see God as we know him and have personally experienced him. LaSalle has taught us to find God in places where most people are too scared to even look. For example, before coming here, like most of you, I would look at a homeless person on the street, probably say hello to them, but usually nothing more. I would probably assume that they were lazy, that they were homeless to some fault of their own. Now, speaking on behalf of everyone who has ever been on homeless outreach, it is clear to me that God works through impoverished people to humble us and remind us of our responsibility to care for our neighbor. This ability to view other people's situations from a different lens has been one of the greatest gifts that I have ever received. LaSalle provided us with countless opportunities to explore our spirituality on retreats and service trips, but this was all a preview for the ultimate gift, Kairos. Kairos was the experience that opened our eyes to the fact that God works to affect our lives chiefly by acting through other people. One quote that profoundly impacted me personally and summed up my Kairos experience was from Mr. Isley. I'm sure a lot of the kids in here have heard this. He said, "If you want to find God, don't look up, look around." The past 4 years were so special because God acted through the LaSalle community and was by our side the entire time. We are here today, after 26.2 miles of high school, looking back at the race. So who are we? On the surface, the class of 2018 has been a part of countless championships at the league, district, and state level. We have received millions of dollars in scholarship money from some of the top universities in the world. From silent night basketball games, to robotics, to field day competition, we have all excelled together. We have participated in thousands of hours of service and have truly lived the mission. But why is this place so different? Why do we all know that we will always miss LaSalle and carry the L on us for the rest of our lives? People often ask me why I love my school so much, why I enjoyed waking up and making that 35-minute drive for the past 4 years. No, it's not only the accomplishments that I previously listed. It's not only the pride that we get from wearing LaSalle gear around, and it's not just the beautiful building, it's the people. We may not remember how to take derivatives from Miss Nedzwecki's calculus class. We may not remember the perfect placement of a semicolon that we learned from Mrs. Field, or even the meditations in Mr. Chesik's class. But what we will remember is the time spent in the CAF, the endless hours in the library or campus ministry where we laughed, joked, uplifted, and supported our brothers. These bonds formed during the downtime are those that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. As freshmen, we thought that the marathon was about running. But now we realize that the mission of the Christian Brothers has prepared us for the marathon that is life. High school brought with it a physical and mental transformation, but our spiritual marathon was what made this experience so special. I said in the beginning of the speech that I will not personally be giving advice, so I will leave you with the words of Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. We have run the marathon of high school and weathered the pilgrimage of spirituality. We are those good men, men of faith, justice, service, and compassion. Men of the class of 2018, do something. Thank you.
The Lord be with you.